I'm Melissa Robinson, Communications Director for Henry County Government, and this is Henry Talks with my colleague, Thomas White.
Thomas White, I'm back, Henry County. Let's go again with Dr. Zach Graham.
Yes, that's our guest, Dr. Zach Graham. Look at Dr. Zach Graham, and he looks like he's in high school, but you are not in high school. You are truly a doctor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Great.
Now, Zach, you're really going to have to talk into the mic. Yeah. It's
I apologize. Yes.
No. You're good. It was me who picked out the item. I'm so sorry. I've regretted my choice ever since we started the podcast because I am loud and boisterous and like to seem that way, but anyway.
We could spend hours talking about Thomas, but let's talk about you.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Great. So,
Who would you say is your mentor with Parks and Rec, Zach?
Thomas White.
That's right.
I heard Donna Holder,
That's
so
right.
I heard a different name.
It always comes back to me in the end.
So tell me a little bit about what you're doing right now with Parks and Rec and what you're going to be doing with Parks and Rec.
Yes, ma'am. So right now at Parks and Rec, I'm kind of overseeing everything with this summer camp as well as with the after-school program, and as well as working with other outside organizations such as Superpowers for Good, going over different training mechanisms for the supervisors, the counselors, to better handle the kids, better service the kids, and better service the community with the parents and everything.
That's great.
Really is.
Your degree, you're a doctor of
Occupational therapy.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. And so have you dealt with families and children before?
Yes, ma'am. In multiple different settings, from hospital settings, outpatient settings, home settings,
and even with us for a year.
Yep,
so.
and recreation settings.
Right. Okay, great. So you saw something really special in.
I did.
Doc.
So he started as an intern. Most years, we haven't had one this year, but most years we get a intern from the University of St. Augustine, Miami, finishing up their occupational therapy doctorate. And Zach just stood out there. He immediately from day one started making positive changes. The way he handled kids, the way he talked to staff, the way that he was able to bond with everybody. At one point, he actually put himself between a possible danger and a kid to make sure that those kids stayed safe. And that was when he was part-time as a supervisor over summer camp.
Wow. Okay.
That sort of dedication is really special. And we saw that in him from day one. Not to mention, it looks good when I say I hired a doctor. So, let's face it, that looks awesome for me.
That's pretty awesome, definitely. So
I've always wanted my own doctorate, can't have it, so now I get to supervise one.
You can get into more student loan debt and get a doctorate.
Yeah, exactly why I can't have it.
Okay. So you're taking the approach to this a little differently than it has been in the past. Is that safe to say?
In a way, yes, ma'am.
A little more.
It's still like typically in the past, everything's a patient-centered approach, but I still try to use that same way with working with the kids or just working with staff or just anybody that's in the building.
Okay, great.
And it's really helped. We want to bring an evidence-based approach to our after-school programming and our camp programming. We really want to take it to the next level. We've expanded it to so many trips. We've expanded our academic enrichment activities. Okay. But now it's time to take it to the next level.
So when you say evidence-based approach, like what are we talking about with that?
Proof that it's been done, it's worked, it's been in a system where it has been measured, and there's actually data in place showing that it works. And we want to bring those practices to Henry County because now that we've grown so much, we've enriched so much, now it's time to optimize. It's time to pick the best, and Zach's been brought in to do that. We picked the best to lead this.
That's great. Yeah. So what is your impression of Parks and Rec?
He's not like best like me, but he's best.
Nobody's the best like you.
Yeah.
Our Parks and Recreation, I have to say, is very robust. Not only just for traditional sports and Parks and Rec, but also Thomas and JP, the executive director and staff, really brought in a lot of new programs for kids who maybe weren't being served.
We're at 89 programs, not including our athletic programs. Our athletic programs brings us to over 100 programs.
And just name off a few of these programs that people may be familiar with.
We've got everything from R&B line dancing, which is completely free at JP Mosley Rec Center, 1041 Millers Mill Road. 7 o'clock on Tuesdays, 5 o'clock on Fridays. You can register at www.hcprd.org.
That's great. I didn't even know that.
Right.
And
We've got
usually am-
everything and our staff does that, R&B line dancing, so it's completely free as long as you have a membership to the rec center.
Okay,
and
great.
You've got other classes like homeschool public speaking. We just completed homeschool creative writing yesterday.
Love
That was our last class for it. We're going to start homeschool civics soon.
Right.
We've got evening classes for adults, managing children with ADHD classes, managing people with autism,
Okay.
like working into our special needs community. We've got the Special Olympics. One
Right.
of our biggest programs is our therapeutic recreation staff down in Locust Grove at Locust Grove
They
Rec
do
Center.
such an excellent
They
job
do.
with
They
their
do.
teams. They really do. They are traveling. They're competing. They're shining, and I'm really proud of.
They
Terry
have
Nash.
literally sent Terry Nash. She's amazing.
She
She
is.
has literally sent people to the World Games, Special Olympics World Games
Wow,
before.
it's incredible. No,
It's incredible. Yes,
so
it is.
important. So
And Zach was actually interested in TR, but we stole him for
Really?
camping after
Yes,
school.
I was. Yes, ma'am.
well,
I don't know if
mean,
it counts as stealing, considering they're both in my division. But okay, anyway.
You have many pathways that you can take, so I'm sure you'll learn a lot from Thomas and the other.
Yes, he's agreed to be with us for the next 30 to 60 years. So. We're starting a new retirement plan just for the 60-year mark when you hit the 60-year mark.
So tell me, for the after-school program, you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
What will you be doing with that? Just setting some curriculum or?
Yes, so in a way, going off some of the programming, just like what Thomas was just saying. So what I try to do is implement or, go with the budget and things of that nature of like certain arts and crafts that could look and find skills that kids need help on.
Okay.
So for instance, like fine motor is a area where a lot of kids, elementary wise and some middle, have a hard time dealing with. So it might be a fun activity for the kids, but more or less it's an activity that's actually helping them, such as just making a bracelet or making a necklace, working on those visual perceptual skills and fine motor skills and manual dexterity to help grow them in the areas of writing, typing, or really doing anything, because your hands, you use them every day to do
You
almost
see why we
anything.
hired him?
Well,
There's
that's
like
the-
3 words in there I didn't know, so that was
That's
great.
the occupational therapy part.
I'm just joking. I knew all those
What
words.
what made you interested in occupational therapy? Because it's a very specific medical field.
Just over the approach of it and the background of it, occupational therapy works with all age groups from birth to death,
Right,
essentially.
sure.
So, and it looks at physical, emotional, and cognitive needs, and works against different barriers that people may have during certain conditions. So, I did want a career or a position where I could be able to work with different areas and work with all people, as well as to grow my knowledge and then spread my knowledge to help other people.
I love that.
So Zach will be overseeing 10 campsites, 5
wow.
teen campsites, and 5 not below teen from 5 to 12-year-olds.
That's a big undertaking.
Yep, he'll be
Right.
overseeing 70 staff and 380 kids.
Okay.
But he has already made such an impact that he's been invited to speak at a workshop in April. He's
great.
speaking at a conference in October.
Okay.
By the way, you're speaking at a conference in October. I forgot to tell you
Sounds
about that.
good.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you about that. My bad.
That's so exciting. Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you so
wonderful.
much.
Yeah,
Thank
I think
you.
that's great.
We're going to nominate him for an award. I haven't decided which one yet, but it's going to be great.
Well, I mean, even more importantly is to let families and parents of kids who come to camps and use Parks and Rec to know that we have somebody in our midst who has that education and that piece that can help their kids with these things. I think it's wonderful. I
Yeah,
think it's
we're really trying to
exciting.
invest in professional level staff. We want Henry County to have the best that they can have.
Well, they have it right now, Thomas.
You're right. You're 100% right, but we can always be better.
Yes, yes, we can.
And so
Maybe
we'll-
not you, because you're so perfect, but the
I
rest of us can
sparkle.
be better.
I sparkle.
You sparkle.
Sparkle.
So, what do you think is going to be your
Can we
most
edit that part out?
No.
No.
What's
Okay.
going to be your most challenging, I think, or what do you see going forward as like your most challenging or interesting part?
Dealing with me.
Challenging, yes.
I'm his direct supervisor, so
I guess
sorry.
challenging. One good thing I will say, Thomas definitely prepares me and helps me stay prepared, as well as the staff that he has around me. So
Because of his childlike ways?
see, you just turned that completely against where I was going.
Sorry.
I had a cheesy grin on my face, was just staring at you, and you turned it
Aw.
completely around.
Okay, well.
So I will say I do have the support. So I guess the most challenging thing, and it's not challenging in a negative way, but I guess challenging just teaching or training or help train as well the supervising counselors
Right.
to pay attention to certain signs that kids show. So, and just like we had a training with Miss Lori Hawkins about looking at certain
Lori
signs.
Harris, I'm sorry, Lori Harris.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me. And when we had our meeting, it was looking at different training styles to work with kids that may have different conditions. So staff isn't so harsh or hard on them. Not that they are,
Right.
but sometimes when you think that a child's doing something that's wrong or disrespectful, sometimes in a way that they can't control.
Right.
So now it's when you understand what's going on, you can more or less help them
Right.
and show them right from wrong, and as well as the parents receive that very well because they know that you're working with their children.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And that's really what we're trying to do. We don't want just a generic approach to working with the kids. We want something that's individualized, that has been differentiated based on the child's needs.
That's great. I mean, not just throwing kids in a big pile of balls to play with. I mean, you're finding things to help them.
What I meant
And-
to say was, what did you mean?
How about you?
Yeah. No, I'm saying that was okay. I thought it was funny. Never mind.
I think we are in very good hands.
You
in
can't
Henry
get 'em
County. I think
all.
we are. No, it's great. I'm glad you're here, and I'm sure the parents are going to be glad you're here. So I'm excited to see what's going to come.
I'm glad you're here. I don't have to do it. I meant to say you're awesome.
Thank you.
So I meant to say, see, they got that one.
So you know what? I want you to come back so we can catch up maybe after camp starts and see how that goes.
Yes, ma'am,
And
of
hopefully,
course.
I'm sure you'll still be here.
Yes, I definitely will.
The kids are great. I'm not so sure about this guy, but okay.
Well, I can tell you this already. I've seen right away that he exhibits one of our biggest principles, and that is Henry cares. Henry committed.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here, Doctor. And we will see you again. And we will see or you'll hear us again. So thank you for listening or watching.
Yes,
Henry
thank you.
Talks. Bye.